Hey, and welcome to the Sail Away. Today we've got an important update on specialty dining and some tips and tricks to save money and have a great experience with specialty dining on Norwegian Cruise. Let's check it out. Hey, and welcome to the Sail Away. We have a lot of interesting news to talk about cruising. It's dinner time here in Las Vegas, and that reminded me about a really big change that just happened with Norwegian Cruise Line. So with Norwegian, you have a ton of dining options. You have, for example, like the buffet, the garden cafe, or included dining, no matter what category of stateroom you book. But there's also our personal favorite, which is
specialty dining.
Yes, we do love a good specialty dining on Norwegian. They do a really great job. But they also made a change that ostensibly could cause you some trouble, but we think could actually make the whole experience a lot better. And so it was actually recently announced that Norwegian was going to do something kind of scandalous. What was that?
Impose a fee on somebody who does not show up for their reservation.
Yeah, let me read the headline. Norwegian Cruise Line has implemented a new $10 per person fee for guests who miss specialty dining reservations without canceling or modifying them at least 2 hours in advance. Now, I could see how that could be problematic. For example, if you're on a shore excursion. But this applies fleet-wide, and it applies to all specialty restaurants that require reservations. So Cagney's, La Bistro, what are some other ones that I'm missing here? Palomar,
the new
Food
Thai
Republic,
place.
Sukhothai.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have specialty dining on Norwegian Cruise and you make a 6 o'clock reservation and you don't get on the ship until 6:30 and you show up, they're going to charge you $10 per person.
And you probably won't have a reservation anymore.
And you're probably going to lose your reservation. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? First of all, let us know in the comments below. Do you think it's a good thing to charge a $10 per person fee if you miss your reservation, and why? But let's talk about why we think that's a good thing. So maybe, what do you think? Is it a good thing?
I think it's a great thing. I think if you've ever had the experience of trying to book specialty dining while you're on the ship, it's extremely difficult. Cagney's, for one, is the first one that always fills up. That is your traditional steakhouse. If you have not made that reservation in advance, those reservations are gone. So it's really just a waste of space if people book a reservation and then don't show up. It's not really fair to the other passengers.
And because a lot of cruises are booking full capacity now, the ship is full. In fact, it is booking so consistently that if you went on a cruise in the last 2 years, they usually had like a printed paper that said, oh, due to the shipping sold out, we're not offering any upgrades. Last time we were on Pride of America, they actually got like a plaque made.
Yeah.
So they're doing it so often that they made a plaque that they just put on the desk. Hey, the ship's full. We're not taking upgrades. And so what that can mean is if you book, especially within 120 days, you book a last minute cruise, or you're just not sure how to plan, it's actually hard to get into specialty dining now on Norwegian ships. And you could miss out if you don't book ahead of time. So can you tell us a little bit more about how to do that?
So if you have already booked a cruise 120 days before embarkation, you can go onto the app and book your specialty dining. If you have a package, it doesn't matter if you have a package or not at that point. It's not redeeming anything. It's not charging you anything. You can just book your reservations. However, one note I will make, you cannot edit your reservation in the app. So make sure you're booking what you want to do. If you have to cancel it or move it to a different day, you have to call in, they have to do it for you, or you have to wait till you get on the ship, which is not super fun. But if you book it in the app, make sure you pay attention to port days when you're in port, what time you think you're going to be back on the ship when you're in port, and as well as like the show times for the theater. The theater typically has show times around 7 and 9. So if you book a 7:15, you're going to miss that first showing. But if you book an 8 o'clock, you're probably going to miss both showings. So pay attention to the show times and that specialty dining reservation.
Yeah. So 120 days.
120 days.
A lot of people don't book their cruise until after that, though. So then what do you do?
You can still book dining through the app. After about 90 days, the times are very limited. You'll probably see a 5 o'clock and a 9:30 available, maybe. But they only release 20% of the available reservations before embarkation day. So once you get on the ship, figure out where the dining reservation booking is happening. Sometimes it's in the theater, sometimes it's in one of the restaurants, sometimes it's in the atrium. If you figure out where that is, they have all the menus laid out. They have people there ready to assist you to book the dining, and you can book the other 80% of available reservations.
Yeah. One of the first things we do when we get on the cruise ship is figure out where do you make dining reservations, and we book it right to that place to get the time and the place that we want. Now, this change means you got to take that more seriously, right?
Yes.
Before, Norwegian honestly was pretty casual with your reservation. We've definitely missed a reservation before, and they've done a really good job of accommodating and helping us figure out how to get into that reservation. Well, now you're going to get charged. It'd be $20 for us if we miss the reservation. And as Ashley said, it likely would go away entirely. But if you go right to that area, and honestly, you just should, because they're very helpful.
They are.
They talk about what the difference is. They talk about the menu. They have all of the menus there. So if you're not sure, and they're more than happy to provide you with a recommendation of what to do for your specialty dining. And they do work with you a lot. Like they will try to find a solution for you. So if you're stressing out, don't worry if you miss it in that 120-day period. Go right to that location where you get on the ship, find your specialty dining, make the reservation. And we're not being paid to recommend this. I really think Norwegian does a very nice job with specialty dining. It's a good value. It always feels like you're getting a really, really good value when you do that. Now, let's talk a little bit about, for if you've never been on Norwegian, you actually do get specialty dining included with your stateroom. So let's talk about that a little. Okay, and the thing about Norwegian is you actually do get specialty dining included with your stateroom. Now, this is a big change because I think launching in 2010, Norwegian had something called Free at Sea.
Yes.
That's what it was called before. And now recently, within the last year, they actually changed that significantly to
More at Sea.
More at Sea. And a lot of things changes. One of the things that changed was specialty dining included with your stateroom. So we were in an inside stateroom on Pride of America, which means we got
one specialty dining for the first 2 adults in the stateroom.
This is actually a really important budget item. So let's talk about this. So on Pride of America, we went to our included specialty dining, which was teppanyaki, I believe. And then we also went to Cagney's,
the bistro, Jefferson's Bistro,
and
La Cucina.
So we went to 3 extra specialty dinings, okay? And one was $60 per person, so 100.
Cagney's and La Bistro are $60 per person. La Cucina is $40 per person.
So, but that 120 then includes a gratuity?
It doesn't. No, it does not include.
That's what I mean. Like you have to then add on the gratuity. So you're getting close to 200.
Automatically add on the gratuity on your check.
Yeah.
But you can add an additional gratuity if you have great service. But it does say on there when you book the reservation that the cover charge does not include gratuity.
Here's the key point. So, and this is a very important budget conversation that I think I probably missed if I'm being honest with you. So now that's almost $200 per night, right?
Evening.
So 200, and then 100 for La Cucina, probably a little bit more. So let's just say $500, okay?
Yep.
Well, in that instance, you might be in a situation where an inside stateroom or an ocean view stateroom, the difference between that and a balcony is $500, right?
Yes.
Because a balcony stateroom, sometimes less. Yeah. So a balcony stateroom.
Balcony and suites get 3 specialty dining evenings per the first 2 adults. Again.
So just to interject here, we're quoting this for a 7-night cruise because that's the typical, the typical time that we would go with. As you can see from this chart here, though, depending on if you have all the way from a 2-night cruise to a 12+ night cruise, that's going to vary widely. As you can see here, a 12+ night with a balcony is going to be 5 included specialty dinings, whereas a 2-night cruise on a studio, inside, or ocean view is only going to get you 1 included specialty dining, but a 12-night cruise on a studio would actually get you 3 specialty dinings. That's why it's important to check your literature as and before you're booking, and most importantly, before you get on the ship, so that you know what changes have happened and what you're entitled to. But the point here is you might actually pay. You might pay to upgrade your stateroom just with specialty dining, as you can see here.
Again. So it is depending on what itinerary you're on, and specifically depending on what time of year you're going, there can be a difference of only $200 between an inside stateroom and a balcony.
Yeah. So if you're going to do specialty dining, it might actually be better to get the balcony, which obviously comes with more room, comes with more space, and a balcony, for example, because you're going to get $200 to $400 or even $500 worth of specialty dining included as part of that.
Yes.
So the deal kind of, it really becomes a deal at that point. We talk often that there's times when an inside stateroom is perfectly fine for us.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the price and like, well, if the inside stateroom and the balcony, if the difference was $1,500, no competition. Go inside stateroom. If the difference between inside stateroom and balcony was $400 or $500, you could easily make that up with just specialty dining alone.
Yes.
So that's one of those important topics to really discuss. And the last part I wanted to talk about was on the same vein, but we're actually going to discuss this in a much more detailed video, which was, in my opinion, Norwegian has basically done away with the included drink package.
Yes and no. They have rebranded.
They have rebranded. So we're getting ready for a cruise coming up, and we were looking at that. When we got past the first stage, we actually had to add the drink package in.
Yeah, so they used to have it where you could opt out, and it would give you a discount on your fare.
Like that. It was or something. So I'm going to make a whole other video about that because, in my opinion, the way they've structured this, they've basically done away with the free drink package. We have a different opinion on that. Anyways, the point here is Norwegian made a change. And I think the result of that change is going to be, it's going to be easier for you to get and keep your specialty dining reservation. It's a little bit of an inconvenience. Norwegian is like, they love to tack on fees. So like that's another thing where the cynical part of me is like, of course, Norwegian is going to charge for something. But I really do think it has been difficult to get into specialty dining recently.
Yes.
When we went on the breakaway, we tried to get into Ocean Blue every single day of the cruise. We just could not get into Ocean Blue. And we would go and we would see there would be like empty tables. And it was frustrating because we really wanted to try Ocean Blue on breakaway and we just never got a chance.
Never got in.
Never got a chance to do it. And what I believe that's going to do is it's going to make people take that more seriously, get to their reservation on time because you have a 15-minute window. And it's going to make it easier for you to get an actual reservation for yourself. Or if one frees up, that 15-minute window is going to make it easier for you to walk up if you can.
Yes.
So that's a huge change. I strongly recommend looking at specialty dining on Norwegian. They have great food in the main dining. We've had a good experience with main dining in all of our Norwegian cruises. Specialty dining is just a considerable elevated step.
The plating is better. The food is slightly better.
Service is better.
Service is hands down better. The plates, like the actual ceramic ware and glassware is better. You go to Cagney's and the wine glass is like a fishbowl. Like it's different. It's a different level of fine dining. But it's definitely elevated.
So we covered a lot today's video. I hope that was helpful. First of all, we talked about the fee that's coming, $10 per person if you missed specialty dining. Then we talked about a little bit how you could get specialty dining reservations. If you aren't able to make that window, don't fret. Get right to that place when you get on the cruise. Head right to the specialty dining area.
It takes a little bit of planning, but it's worth it. And when you do get on the ship and talk to those in the dining booking area, wherever that is, they can answer your questions as far as dietary restrictions and food allergies as well. They can also look up like when the Broadway show is and maybe not schedule it on top of that. They can help you with all of that.
Yeah, or your excursion. You used to be able to purchase upgrades to the dining packages.
Yes.
You could purchase like an extra set of specialty dinings. Now it is just a set price. It's actually, and it's much more expensive to do that.
Set cover charge.
Set cover charge. And the whole point of that is that what we last talked about was if you're looking at inside stateroom versus balcony, this is now a really important way for you to look and see like, is the $200 or the $300 difference between balcony or inside, if that's your case? You could easily make that up with specialty dining. And we actually really had, and the last time we booked a cruise, that's exactly what happened. We looked at it. We saw the difference between an inside room and a balcony was about $500.
It was $300.
$300. And so we knew we were going to, in that instance, we're going to absorb that entire cost just in specialty dining, which we were going to do anyway, right? So we were going to spend the extra money on specialty dining. So our preference of that, we landed on a balcony, which we probably wouldn't have done otherwise.
True.
So little tips there. We really love Norwegian. We tend to focus on that. So I hope if you're looking to Norwegian, I would ask maybe consider subscribing to our channel because we focus a lot of our content on that, although we do talk about other cruises as well. Thanks for tuning into the Sail Away. Don't be late for your reservation, and also click follow and subscribe. Okay, see?